Okay. Now, just gotta wait. Anyone in yet? Sorry if I'm trailing off and sounding out of breath. I just had to do a fire. It's hot. And I'm more or less just waiting, like I always do, seeing when people are going to come in. Anyone in yet? And if so, cool. How has your guys' days been? I'm more or less trying to look through stuff while waiting for people. Okay. Has anyone joined? Q&A is on. Q&A is on. Q&A is on. Is anyone here? Anyone who comes in, don't mind me. I'm just on the phone trying to get in contact with my friend. Whoever joins, you can still talk. I'm just trying to contact a friend. It was worth a try. Jeez. Add. Anyone in? Hello? Anybody? No one in yet? Anybody? More or less just chilling. Hello? Who is everybody? You told me we're going to have a repeat of last week. I had to cancel my Q&A last week because of this. Q&A is on. Q&A is on. Q&A is on. Hello? Anybody here? Hey, Slick! I have not seen you for quite a decent minute. I've just been waiting a good, 30 minutes for somebody to join. Last Q&A was canceled because absolutely not a soul joined for the first time in the Q&A. So I had literally been sitting in the room by myself. Hey, I get it too, man. I'm surprised with how much time I have to be able to work on YouTube and stuff. But, I mean, it's a passion. It's what I want to do. I don't hate being an adult. I just think that there are minor bugs to being an adult. So much that I want to do, not enough time to do it. I'm still with you. I'm just putting in a disc for whenever I'm done with the Q&A. I'm going to watch stuff while I do my YouTube work. But that's only after the Q&A, because if I watch what I want to during it, then I might get striked. I'm also going to have to turn the volume down if I'm actually putting in the disc. At least someone finally joined. I was worried that this Q&A would get canceled too. Have you seen the recent updates and posts about the McQueen story? This is the most recent from the community post as of last night. You mean Shane? You said Sean there. It's alright. I got what you meant. Yes. Shane with Lucille. And here is the first pick of Shane and Lucille. I'll be able to get the story finally finished by tomorrow evening, and it will be a 20-and-a-half-parter. If I'm lucky, it might be a little less, maybe like 20, I'll say 20 to 20-and-a-half parts at the maximum, especially for the beginning and ending sequences, which I've been talking massively about. I want it to be like that. especially the ending sequence that I teased, the whole multiverse thing, really making it the Omniverse of Nick. I'm telling you what, it's gonna be like one of the tops on my channel. People have said the Madison and Rick story is their favorite, the Sophia and Negan one, the Dale one, Merle one kind of, but those top three, your guys' favorite. But this one, this will definitely go on to be the best story. I hyped that up about a bunch of my stories, but I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. By the way, I loved the what if of Casey Becker being alive. You did an amazing job on it. Well, thank you. Yeah, I think even if the ending was sort of it's still tied into how Casey was in of itself. Oh, and here is more pictures of Morgan, but he loses an eye. And compared to how I showed it in the first few pictures, this is a dynamic and companionship involved with Rick and McQueen. Literally, like my story says, they're going to be companions / Rick being the caretaker, and they're just going to be like real friends. It's going to be the bromance that Rick and Shane didn't have. And better than Rick and Daryl. I say that, but Rick and Daryl had it strong. Even at the CDC, Daryl knew that Shane was unhinged. Surprised he didn't turn good earlier. It took him till like the end of season 2 to even come close to being like a true fold in Rick's group. And even then, when Merle was around and they found out about him, he was still sort of But just look at him now. They got 2 seasons in the fold of his own spinoff, a 3rd season's in development apparently, and a 4th has been teased for Daryl Dixon. I am not joking. Norman Reedus literally told everybody that he plans to play Daryl Dixon for the next 5 to 6 years. I don't know how they are going to be able to do that. They're going to have to either drag out the story or play it in a way that if they do drag it out, it's going to be lit. And Norman Reedus has already teased that season 2's ending for Daryl Dixon, which is coming at the end of September, is going to be the best 2-hour special out of anything in The Walking Dead. The actor literally said that. So, I mean, I'll believe it. I just want to see it. I'm just very glad we got to see Rick back. How long it took for Rick to return and everything like that, it was just so annoying. Every episode of season 11, I just wanted Rick back. But let's say we get started with the Q&A itself, since we're already 45 minutes in or whatnot. I might even extend the stream just because we're actually getting people. But let's do this. Q&A time. Oh, since you're recommending Dragon Ball ones, I don't know if you answered this question or not, but did you like the What If Vegeta Became Immortal story? And I don't know if you saw my other Dragon Ball stories before. I don't know, since I forgot that you recommended Dragon Ball ones. Did you like all those ones? As for Vegeta landing on Earth, he was already, like, much more grown. He's always been older than Goku. So how would he land on Earth? Because you gotta think, why and how and when would he go to Earth? I think I finally just found the perfect way to make that story happen. Hold up. I have to clean my glasses while I do this. So, in the DBS Broly movie, which fully canalizes King Vegeta and Bardock and everything like that, Vegeta is shown early in the incubation chamber, right? Well, I'm thinking that King Vegeta sends little Vegeta before he gets older to basically go to Earth as a starting planet. And that should be like a warm-up to him and everything like that. It's literally the only way that I think you could realistically make Vegeta go to Earth. Because if you send him after that, and he's actually with Nappa and Raditz, and he's actually more older, since he's always been older than Goku, it won't work. He'd literally destroy the planet. He would conquer it. So, that's literally the best option that we can go for. People have done it before, and they've literally said there is no way to get that done. But I don't think that they looked into whenever he was in the incubation chamber. Because Devious Broly came out a long time after the beginning of Dragon Ball to canalize Broly and Gogeta, basically. So I get why they took forever to do that. But I'm just saying that in the grand scheme of things, were Devious Broly not to exist, people would just go off the original theory that Vegeta going to Earth, he would literally kill Grandpa Gohan and conquer the planet. Which, in any event, if you're not counting an early Vegeta, it happens. So I completely get where they're coming from. And when people asked this of me early, I told them no for that specific reason. So that will be the first idea of the stream, and that will actually be able to do in the future. I never thought that I'd actually be able to do that story, and then I'm thinking, wait a minute. See, because as you get older, your mind starts to think better of scenarios that you tackled before. Like, for example, my remakes that I've done of my stories. I would have never thought to do it the way that I did in the remake had I not gotten experience from doing it once, or tackling it more than one time, or hearing from other people. You know what I'm saying? So basically, it just comes down to understanding the concept of a story and then getting others' opinions. Because then that can help you to either remake the story better, or it could also help you to understand different points of views. Because everyone is going to have a different opinion on a story. It's literally genetically coded into our minds that what if story or not, there's always going to be different opinions. It's always more than one side of the spectrum, more or less. Sorry, I'm like cleaning my glasses while I'm doing this, and my glasses have not been treating me with much kindness since one of my frames recently busted. We actually had to glue and tape the freaking frame back on, because after 4 to 5 years of having these, one of the frames, while I was cleaning it, ironically, decided to bust. So yeah, that was fun. That happened like earlier this week. I was lucky enough to get it fixed without having to go and get more. See, that's the thing. Cleaning glasses is the most annoying aspect of them, because you never know if you can actually get them properly clean, or you'll end up making them more dirty and making yourself mad and accidentally breaking them, which is what happened. To be fair, the frame on that broke was already breaking, because like I said, these are old glasses, 4 or 5 years old, possibly even older. I'm thinking around that landscape, but it doesn't really matter. Point is, I can still wear them. It's just cleaning them is a royal pain. But yeah, the what if Vegeta landed on... I said landed Earth instead of landed on Earth in my thing here. What's up, Garjulio? So, yes, Slick, that will be the first recommendation. What if Vegeta landed? And now, since we're actually getting people, it's about 40 minutes in because of Slick and then Garjulio, we're going to extend this baby to about almost 2 hours. I unfortunately had to cancel last week's Q&A because not a god dang soul showed up. Everyone was like out that freaking what's his name? Everyone was out that Saturday. Who would replace Lance Hornsby in the Atlantic or at the Commonwealth? You need someone to replace Lance Hornsby. What's up, Saik? Maybe Lance and Shane? I already have Shane going to the Commonwealth. So it's like... Let me think. I guess. Because Lance was a traitor just like Shane. So, you know what? Why not? Not so, because in my McQueen story, Shane's not with the group after the point of the CDC, and I still am able to make the story work. True, many moments would be gone, but there are other characters that as long as you have the right material, you can make a story work. And with Lance in the picture, it can work, because you're literally swapping out a traitor for a traitor. What if Radis turned good is already saved? By the way, guys, this is the most recent picture for the McQueen Walking Dead story, which will be completed production-wise by tomorrow evening. It will be a 20 to 20 and a half parter, and then I'll have the Lincoln story to do, and then I'll be on to that second batch that I had been previously teasing along with that first batch. And the Abraham Lincoln one will only take me a day or two to do, and that'll be like a two-parter, if maybe a two-parter. Because when it comes to real life stuff, you can easily cover it in just one part. But with fiction, you gotta really go all out. Oh, you think this one's good? If you've been paying attention to production stuff, I've been going all in for how I'm doing this and everything like that. We got Shane with Lucille. And we got another Shane with Lucille. We got Morgan with one eye, which I've done with like Jesse before and stuff. So yeah. What if Magnus Group was in the Atlantic camp? Sure. That's number 3. I'm pretty excited for the McQueen story. It looks really good based on the images we've seen. Oh, trust me when I tell you that along with the Sophia and Negan story, the Dale story, and the Madison and Rick story, this one is going to be at the probably most top of the list, especially with the beginning and ending sequences. What I teased about a actual Omniverse of Nick and like teasing stuff like that, like Salad Saiyan and Moscow X2 with their what ifs. I looked upon the idea for one of Salad's freaking what ifs, and I'm like, nah, I'm doing that. I am doing that. And it's gonna slowly but surely be teased throughout like almost every story. What if Carol spared Lance and joined this? Wait. Out of every group that Carol had been a part of alongside Daryl, and how much she cared for Daryl and everyone else, why would she just randomly join CRM? It really feels wrong to just have her go up to the level that she did up until that point near the end of The Walking Dead, just to have her stoop low enough to join Lance in the CRM. What's up, King? Nick, I wanted to ask, do you think Abraham's death was wasted potential in The Walking Dead because his character was very funny and he would have been helpful during the war fighting Negan? Yes. But, to be fair, looking back at it more, Abraham literally... I feel that since I looked at it and he was killed by Dwight in the comics, taking Denise's death, or the other way around, and then to see him literally stand up and show he's not cowering to Negan, that should have been a dead giveaway. And honestly, the reason that they killed Abraham in that sense and didn't kill him like they did originally is because it was literally, and I quote, a deliberate fake out to psych us out to see if they were actually going to kill Glenn or not, like they did in the comics. Because we all know that he died in the comics, and Abraham's death was literally a fake out to make us think Glenn was going to live. So Abraham literally was used as bait in a sense. Which is why he was barely probably mentioned, and Glenn was actually the main one mentioned. Which honestly is a low blow to Abraham's character. I know what you meant, King. Alright, but we got 3 ideas here. We got Vegeta landing on Earth instead of Goku, Lance and Shane swapping, and Magnus Group being in the Atlantic camp. technically they did in a way. It's just that we didn't know that Abraham was... It would have been, like, weird timing, now that I think about it. What if Goku landed on Whis' planet or Beerus' planet, you might as well just throw everything out of the way of the story, because you are giving him the apex power. That's like literally making Broly land on that's like making Broly land on Beerus' planet instead of Vampa. You are literally Xing out the story. What if Gregory killed Maggie is saved? Denise would by no means replace Rosita. There's not too much characters I can find that Denise would be able to replace. There's just not. The only good that I saw in Denise's character was that Daryl cared about her and the fact that she and Tara were beginning to get together. That's it. Same with Olivia. She didn't do much either. What if Trunks and Gohan swapped? How so? Because you gotta think, there's a present Trunks and Gohan, there's a future Trunks and Gohan, so it's kind of confusing to make Dragon Ball characters swap. With The Walking Dead is easier, but you gotta think, Dragon Ball, there's time travel nonsense. So, and especially with how big the scope of Dragon Ball is, swapping Dragon Ball characters is nigh to impossible, which is why there's barely any swapping what ifs saved for Dragon Ball. I don't know. Present Gohan and present Trunks. Yeah. Yeah, I'm almost gonna say that I'm gonna skip to, like, characters swapping in every other franchise, like what we've been doing with The Walking Dead, Scream, Friday the 13th. The ones that we've been doing have worked. But Dragon Ball, the generic what-if style is best for Dragon Ball, and even for Marvel, because it's just too big. Even Marvel is really putting on boundaries, especially after Endgame. Jesus and Carver swapped is saved already. That's all right. Since there are new people here, new pictures to the McQueen story. Rick and McQueen's friendship with the Merle prosthetic arm, and McQueen is a fighter car. Shane with Lucille. And the other picture with Shane and Lucille. The creators could even confuse themselves with the time travel aspect, which was a whole can of worms. What if Goku unlocked Ultra Instinct early? The ironic thing is, I have a few what-ifs planned for that. I have him getting Ultra Instinct early against Vegeta, against Frieza, and I think against Boo. But honestly, I think I canceled the one against Boo, maybe, because it's too close to Dragon Ball Super. Oh, by the way, I want you guys to really listen to this. This is a very cool thing that I just realized about the Spirit Bomb. So, we all know the Spirit Bomb's supposed to destroy all evil energy and wipe it out, right? It would basically kill the person. But there's a few things we gotta realize. The Spirit Bomb has worked on literally every single person. Well, it hasn't worked on every single person except Boo. Boo is the only one that it actually worked on. And I got a really killer theory that really shows why it didn't work on the others that Goku used it on. He used it on Vegeta, it didn't work. Want to know why? Because Vegeta, as we now know, wasn't evil. Oh, he sure showed evil. But if he was evil, it would have worked. He used it on Frieza, it didn't work. Now, Frieza was insanely durable, but if you look at the Frieza in the manga with Black Frieza, and the fact of him in Dragon Ball Super Broly, the anime, he's more of an anti-villain, and he's not the psychotic overlord that he was back in Z and early Super. So, that gives us reason to believe that it didn't work on Frieza, not only because he's super durable, but because he's not fully evil. And to think, we all thought that Piccolo was fully evil. Look at him now! And it didn't work on Jiren, mainly because he exceeds many gods, and the fact that he eventually was shown to not be evil, just misguided. So that pretty much, but Kid Buu, oh, he was the personification of evil. And it only took him getting reincarnated through a wish got on to King Yema to make a good parts expel from Kid Buu's essence. So it wasn't like Vegeta and Frieza and Jiren, where the Spirit Bomb didn't, like, you know, work on them to a sense and them still live. Exactly! So Frieza was a maniacal overlord, Vegeta was a planet killer, and Piccolo was a psychotic demon. But honestly, that pretty much debunks a lot. That actually makes me feel kind of happy knowing that I found that out. Same with the Fear the Walking Dead twist I told you about in a community post about the whole timeline of Fear and the original Walking Dead. Finding stuff out like that, it just really makes me happy, because then you can go ahead and tell people that, and like basically nothing is really better in life than proving another human being wrong, especially if you're right. What if Goku landed on Wampa? Salad actually did a what if on that. I'm gonna say that, honestly, I don't know. Because I felt like if I took a stab at that, it would be too close to how someone else did it. That was my original fear for the... Did I miss anything important? That depends on when you last messaged. Oh, we were just talking about debunking the Spirit Bomb and stuff like that. I don't know. I suppose so. I guess I'll take a stab at it. What if Goku unlocked Beast form? See, that's the thing. Hold up. Hold that thought. What if Nicholas died instead of No, I Believe is saved, or something really similar to that? If you take out Travis's family with Carol's, that might as well be like my what if Madison's family joined Rick, or what if Rick's family joined Madison, the parallel. So I'm just going to stick to those two specifically, since it's too close. Oh, well, I've misunderstood the meaning of beast. So I looked into it more, and I thought that beast was only attainable if you got the mystic power up. So for the recent Dragon Ball what ifs that I did, that's literally what I wrote. That's literally what I thought had to happen. You had to be able to get your potential unlocked from the Elder Kai or from somewhere to get that power. Because Gohan, every time, he never showed to have that power before Superhero when he was in his mystic form against Cell Max. But then I read upon it. It's a form attainable only to Gohan. But I get that it's the whole hybrid Saiyan human aspect, but I honestly want to stick to the theory that you need your potential unlocked to be able to get that form. Because if Gohan had that form, don't you think that he would have unlocked it like centuries later or earlier? I honestly think that that theory is kind of stupid. Or not even theory. I think that that's just stupid. And I think that it should be down to the fact that you need your potential unlocked to get that power. Because just having it out of a whim and then taking forever, like literally so long to get it, it just feels like a washout. It feels like literally just a put-in plot device. Whereas Piccolo got his power from the dragon. That works. Okay? That works. Because Shenron literally gave him that power. But Gohan? He just, oh, there you go. You have it. happy trails. I'm sorry. And I'm going to have plenty of people in the future tell me about this, but I'm using Beast if their potential is unlocked by Elder Kai or something like that, because it just doesn't make sense, basically. I have Strand joining the CRM and the Reapers, but I can have him join the Whisperers, but that's the closest that you're going to get, because honestly, it'd be really hard to put in the timing of the Whisperers from canon to that point. Unlike actually putting Strand in that group, which would not be as hard. So I'm honestly just going to have to do that. Well, I'm technically granting your wish in a sense, but I just can't do it that way. But yeah, I totally think that whole idea of, oh, he just has the power. Then explain to me why. Okay, Trunks, he has Super Saiyan Rage. So that's like Beast? But why didn't he get Beast? Or why didn't, well, Goten and the present Trunks, we can't really compare because they're still too young. But it just feels like some stupid plot device that they just copy and pasted this idea, and it's like, he had it all along. Why didn't he get it? I'm mad at that now. I'm mad at that. What if Shran joined Troy's second group is saved? So that's 6. What if Gabriel... I have Gabriel getting traded to the CRM. But Gabriel joining... But Gabriel joining just randomly, it just doesn't fit Gabriel. What's with the underscore? Gohan needed an upgrade because of how Super did him so wrong. Yeah. They did him wrong before Super. They did him wrong back forever, because if they gave him too much power, he would have literally been the strongest the entire time. I'm just sticking to the fact you need to get your potential unlocked. Because having it out of a whim, that's stupid. So I'm sorry, Slick or Zaik, whoever recommended the Beast Cell thing, I'm not doing it, because it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit to not only take away Gohan's Super Saiyan 2, but then just stack a random power-up that he supposedly always had. I get it that the scenes are so similar from him turning Super Saiyan 2 to Beast, but I thought that was just a parallel to give us a nice Gohan versus Cell moment. I didn't know that it was because it literally was a correlation to him having that power all along. But apparently that's how they wrote it in. But how are you going to give someone a power-up and have them have it all along? And it's like, it seemed legit that they gave it to him because he was in the Mystic power-up. And Gohan literally said that he wishes to go beyond Super Saiyan at the before the tournament. it literally sounded like he was trying to work upon Mystic and make that his new power. So Beast, if you listen to that line closely, it seemed like it was that. Beast was another mode past Mystic. So why just make it that it was there all along? Logic? It seemed like with how they wrote Gohan as a human Saiyan hybrid, they wrote Trunks better in the story, even if the Super Saiyan Rage and the Spirit Bomb Sword did come a little out of nowhere. But Trunks, it's more understandable with how Trunks was done. Like, Trunks was much better written than Gohan because, don't get me wrong, Gohan is a great character, but I'm sorry, looking at him now, especially at that, they basically went from nerfing to buffing, to nerfing to buffing. And now they give us his power that seemingly was there the entire time. I'm sorry, that is stupid. And I'm going to literally point to the Elder Kai giving him that power and him not being at the right kind of level to achieve it. It literally, reading that is probably the most annoying thing. It doesn't make me as mad with the Troy death sequence, but it does annoy me that they pretty much just gave Gohan that just for giggles, rather than giving him something or going alongside the Mystic art and just putting it together with Piccolo, who actually got his power logically. I'm sorry if I'm ranting. But it just doesn't make sense to me that that's how they did that. And now people look at it that way instead of accepting it for what it is. If you really want to make a story or understand something, you need to look at all the details. And clearly, a lot of these people did not look at the right details. But anyways, we got 6 ideas here. We're going to go to almost 2 hours on the stream. I'm going to look and see if there's anything that I missed. But I think I'm mostly caught up, even if I did take a minute ranting. What if the Terminus and Teddy arc swapped? That would be kind of hard to do, honestly. Just to swap entire arcs between things. Characters is one thing, but like for what you're asking here, it's more or less kind of difficult. So King Devon and anyone who did not get the message, I plan to be done with this story alongside the community posts and everything I've been teasing. I plan to be done with the McQueen stories production by tomorrow evening. It will be a 20 to 20 and a half parter. And it literally, alongside the 3 stories that you guys have said are the best, the Dale one, the Madison and Rick one, and the Sophia Negan one, this is going to be one of the tops. I wouldn't hype this up. Usually I do that for many of my stories, and I'm like, oh, this would be like the best story ever. But really, I haven't been wrong in too many cases from what you guys have told me. And I wouldn't hype up a story if I didn't think that it would show some kind of greatness among others, especially with how it was very hard to try and crop in Shane holding Lucille, switching out for a shotgun, because if you look here at him holding Lucille there, and then if you look here, I literally had to angle it into a shot with him using the shotgun because we never saw Shane use a bat. And I could do a Destiny's picture, but that would be really crappily angled and cropped in, especially with how Destiny's did their pictures. So honestly, that's the best that I could have done. And Rick and McQueen's picture here and their dynamic, honestly, it's really cool the more and more I look at it. how far would Magna have gotten? If she had went in and tried to kill Michonne and everything like she planned, she wouldn't have got far, especially with Michonne. She would have just gotten herself killed. Honestly, it was a stupid plan anyway. Just because Michonne exposed her. That would have been a weird... what do you mean in the comics? People have asked me about that. And honestly, I had thought about doing that for a time, but I mean, I could do that. I think the only reason that I didn't was because it was permanent between Supreme Kais. So I didn't want to take away from that because it seemed logical. That was actually a Dragon Ball twist that was logical into the story. And I think I can do it, but I might have to either nix the Supreme Kai thing or make it so that way Universe 7's fusion is permanent. I'm one of the two, but I can do it, but it's just going to be hard putting in that that element. I cannot speak. It wouldn't change much with Magna dead, but it would be a small moment then, but I still don't think she would have gotten far. It really wouldn't have done much, except it would have showed how stupid Magna was at that time. She didn't show true character until, like, early season 10. Yeah, Yumiko was pretty much the leader. That's why it's Yumiko's group, not Magna's group, if you look it up. It's more Yumiko's. Alright, so that's 7 ideas. We got Vegeta landing on Earth, Lance and Shane, Magna's grouping in the Atlantic camp, Goku landing on Vampa instead of Yardrats, Strand joining the Whisperers and Troy's second group, Vegito being permanent. All of that. Honestly, I am really excited for August because that's whenever the McQueen story, like near the middle of August, will be coming out. Near the middle of August is when you guys will see the McQueen story start to come out, and it won't be over until near the beginning of October. Possibly even past that, because I can't make promises depending on how I put in the parts and everything. But I'm just saying that I'm honestly looking forward to putting out that story as much as you guys. I feel like I have more fun writing the story most times than I do putting it out. But whenever I put it out, what makes me excited is seeing your guys' reactions on it. But thinking about it in the moment, it's almost like the same. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I prefer one over the other. Of course, I wouldn't be doing the work if I didn't want you guys to see it. But it feels like a mixed battle, more or less, between writing it and showing it. Because it's like a book. I mean, technically it is. That's what I plan to even do in the future. I plan to, I'm thinking way ahead of stock here, which I've told you guys before, but I can't wait to have, eventual bookstores with, my kind of stories. Just imagine that, the Omniverse of Nick, and it could be like a bookstore or something, or maybe like if you guys have ever been to like a Barnes and Noble or something like that, you could totally be seeing it like a section of Barnes and Noble. Just imagine it's like an Omniverse of Nick section. I think that would be really freaking cool, honestly. And I know I'm kind of like way thinking ahead of the game here and like everything like that, but what can I say? I am just that kind of person that thinks ahead on everything. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, King Devon. So, I know that many of you probably already know this, but for those of you who don't, KJ, one of the oldest members, quote unquote, of the channel, he is no longer joining us on Discord or on YouTube for basically leaving the Discord over multitudes of times, and basically he was almost seeking attention in a way whenever he had been talking about like real life stuff, and I tried to like help him out. I tried to talk to him and everything, and it eventually he just kept on leaving without telling anybody. And like over and over again, I had to like keep inviting him back, and him eventually I just decided, like, with how he was dealing with everything on Discord and everything like that, I just decided more or less to get rid of him off of Discord. And then whenever he came to me last weekend on the Q&A that I didn't make because there was nobody, he was the only one who showed up only 5 minutes in and then walked out because I told him that I kicked him off the Discord. And I even gave the reason, because if I ever do something wrong or like something similar to what I did, which wasn't wrong, if I ever do that, I tell the truth. That's literally how I am. But I basically told him that that's how it was, and he was still on the channel. But a day later, he basically ranted to me. Well, technically no one showed up at all, King Devon, because the second after I told him that, 5 minutes in, he walked out. And after that, there was absolutely no one. It was like legit right whenever the Q&A started. But I deleted the video anyway after an hour and a half. But anyways, the day after that, he showed up in the comments section of a community post, and he told me, he ranted in paragraphs in an essay like me, except kind of, yet not really, because we all know how I type. But he basically came to me and he typed in this big, bold paragraphs how he thought that it was very unreasonable that I got rid of him for no reason, even though I explained to him in great detail that he was still on the channel, he was still a moderator, and he was still a part of this channel. But that wasn't good enough for him. Oh no. He decided that I was acting like a maniacal overlord, his words, not mine, and that I was being completely and utterly reasonable. And I'm like, dude, I think you're overreacting just a little bit. And I actually snapped at him, which is something I don't do very often. And I just basically told him, like, dude, I gave you multitudes of chances to hear me out and to listen, etc., etc. And I had no choice. So I kicked him. Because I've already dealt with plenty of trolls on here, and I'd rather not deal with more. So, King Devin, the reason that I addressed you at the beginning of that statement is because now you are the lone and only moderator on the channel. So, yeah. This definitely sounds like attention seeking. Yeah, more or less. I more or less thought that someone was going to ask me eventually. So I figured that I would just clear the air since I didn't get the chance to explain that in another video earlier this week or on the Discord, because I didn't feel it. Even if I explained it on the Discord, not every one of you is on there. And for those of you who are on there, you're not all the time. But I didn't feel it right to explain it in a video or like something like that. I felt to explain it here because that's when I know you guys are here collectively with me. And this is when I like to talk to you guys about like channel updates, people, etc. And as for thinking that he was an alright person, trust me, King Devin, I thought so too. But then again, you also got to look at it from this way. People like, for example, Gavin and King of Portals and GMV. It's not about being a bad person. It's about going onto another person's YouTube channel, respecting their rules, getting along with everybody, not taking your being on the internet as a, like, take it too far, basically. Because I think that all of them, they were given the internet way too early. Like, whenever I started getting on the internet and commenting, I was about 12 or 13. And even then, I didn't comment, like, crazily or get myself into trouble. But, I watched plenty of, like, bad stuff. We all do. We're all human. But my point is, I think that it just takes the people that give the internet to their children at the right point in time. And then it's up to the child to basically act on the internet and be on the internet the right way. Which all of them, KJ for the longest time was the only one out of all of them to act the right way for a time. But that's just it, for a time. Because real life stuff and just anyone's mental focus can make a person act up. And whether it was him being young and real life stuff, etc., etc., it's not about being a bad person. It's just about the mentality or way that he generally thought, I guess. More or less, I'm just trying to analyze it in a way that doesn't make him sound like a bad person, because in all honesty, he more or less wasn't. As for Gavin and the other guys, well, they were just clowns. True, they did try to slander my name and everything like that, so that kind of makes them bad people. But, yeah. I felt like I would more or less just explain it, because I knew someone would ask eventually. Because KJ was a regular on here for quite a decent amount of time. So to not tell you guys would be sort of rude, even if he was or was not a bad guy. You get what I'm saying? You talk with your fans, and I have no qualms against that. Even whenever I get, like, say, I know people that whenever they get a certain amount of subscribers or like viewers, that they lose track of the amount of comments that they get, and they're not able to respond to every single one. But literally, with how I am, I'm going to make it a priority, which I already have, to respond to every single one. And if I don't respond to comments, I still acknowledge them. I only respond to the ones that I feel like need responding to. Like, and I'll heart literally every single comment, be it as long as it's not a troll or something negative against my channel. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't acknowledge your fans or like talk to your fans, you're not really a good YouTuber. Not really. And I get it. The bigger you are, it's harder to keep track. But with me, that's why I work so far ahead of my stuff. So that way I am able to work and respond to everything. And there was something else related. Oh, by the way, just as of today, the channel has reached 200,000 views. I can't believe that. 200,000 freaking views on this channel. And my What If Rick Met Negan Before Alexandria, if you saw that community post, has reached over 9,000 views as my most popular video on my channel. Along with over 1,020 subs. This channel is still popping. Like, honestly, compared to all my other freaking channels, it still amazes me to no end that this channel usurped all of those within 2 literal months. And back then, I barely knew what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to talk about what if stuff and just talk. But then you grow, you know? And look at where we're at now. I'm going to be looking at this video like 2 years later being like, well, times have certainly changed. Well, that's just part of growing. And I bet you anything that along with the McQueen story is going to pop up like crazy. Not only because of cars, but The Walking Dead, which The Walking Dead sparked this channel. Even if it's not the main thing I do on this channel, the fact that it sparked it, and that my Cars video, the Lightning McQueen Radiator Springs one, which I'll pull up here in a second, that Radiator Springs Lightning McQueen one is actually the 3rd most popular with 4.6K views. And yeah, it's the 3rd most popular. And it was a recommendation when I did it over a year ago from a family member of mine. So, and I did not expect it to become the 3rd most popular video. So barring that, on top of what The Walking Dead has done for my channel, even if the other stuff is done good, you know, Marvel, Lord of the Rings, Scream, and Dragon Ball have still done good, but The Walking Dead's popped off the channel pretty good. I'm just saying that whenever we do get to August, that's whenever it's going to get like crazy on this channel. Slowly, or fast, it doesn't matter. Just as long as whenever I do make the story, the hype will definitely be worth it. Like I said, I wouldn't hype up a story if I didn't believe it was going to do well. Heck, I wouldn't even think of a story or get a recommendation from someone for a story if I didn't see potential. And I know that's just me talking, but yeah. It's nice to hear some truth bombs, you know? Get some kind of outlook. Love to see smaller channels grow and become bigger. I'm glad your channel is getting the attention it deserves. Yeah, as am I. Honestly, I never thought that I'd get this far. I never thought I'd get past 100 subs, to be completely frank with you. To be honest, and like I've said multiple times, I thought that this one was going to be like a one and done, and like never coming back to it. But whenever it started getting bigger and better than all my other ones, I'm like, you know what? Screw the other ones. We're going to do this one as a base. And it worked. So yeah, going back to this, we'll be done with this, and I'll be getting into the deep stuff by tonight as much as I can and putting the finishing touches on tomorrow. And by Monday morning, I'll have started and most likely just wrapped up the Abraham Lincoln What If in 1 to maybe 2 parts, because real life stuff you can deal with like a part quickly. But after that, Tuesday into Wednesday will be the start of that second batch, and going on to teasing more and more of the Omniverse stuff, and slowly but surely, you know, teasing it. And eventually making it a full-fledged story. But if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it the right way, you know? If I'm going to slowly but surely make it a someone BYA56 or whatever, he commented and joked that I was basically opening up Nick's cinematic universe, like the NCU instead of MCU. And I actually thought for just a brief second to rename my channel to that, but I didn't want to get in trouble by Marvel. So yeah, I ain't doing that. But it was funny, because it's accurate. And I'm not going to tease it in every story, just with the ones that involve like big story plots or universes, like the McQueen one. Because if I teased it in every story, it would just mess up the system. And it would take away from the joy of the story I'm doing, especially if it's a small one. Okay, so we got 7 ideas for the stream. We have extended it and we're almost at 2 hours. So I think, honestly, and since we've got good ideas and talked about a lot of awesome stuff and everything like that, that I think we're going to call this the perfect place to end this Q&A. And it makes up for the last Q&A, which was, in layman's terms, a dud. But it's okay. We're all here now. It's all made up for. We had a good time. And yeah, definitely cool. Anyways, thank you guys so much for the 7 ideas here. Thank you guys for joining the stream. And especially Slick, since you didn't get to see you for a while. I will see you guys not so much later in the Discord. Tomorrow, definitely in the Discord, because I'm going to be working and everything like that. But I will see you guys tomorrow in the Discord, and then later next week for videos and such, and next Saturday for the next Q&A. Until then, stay tuned.